What is up, guys? We are now officially like 1 week out from the start of the NHL season. I'm excited. I got my Heritage Classic McDavid jersey on that I just got. Definitely didn't just make this not making this video just to show that off, but I don't know. I figured let's do a tier list of NHL teams before the season starts. We're about a week out. We're close. I'm getting excited. So let's get into it. All right. Well, we'll probably just go in the order that it has like right here. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Starting with Anaheim, this is a pretty easy F. Like the defense is not good. The offense is also like not that good. Zegras is probably going to end up being pretty good. They draft Leo Carlson, they've got Drysdale, they've got like McTavish. Like it's a solid team, but like I mean not it's not a solid team. It's like they're building something here, but I really don't think it's time for that next step yet, even out of the F tier. Like they're just clearly one of the worst teams in the league. Um, Arizona is next. I've seen a lot of like hot takes that are talking about like, oh, Arizona's making the playoffs this year. That to me is like a real like that's a scorching take, not just a hot take. Like I don't know. Like they've got your best player is Clayton Keller. Like don't get me wrong, like I love Clayton Keller, but it's just like I don't know if that's like that's the level you're on, and they've lost pieces, like they lost they traded or I don't know if they traded him, but they lost Ghost, they traded Chikrin, like those are good players too that contributed to that team last year, and then you've got what coming in. Logan Cooley should be quite good. I don't know if you guys saw that one goal he had the other day. But is this going to be enough for Arizona to make the playoffs? Not really. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think they're F tier though. Like I really think they're in this above tier here where D is at. I guess I should define these tiers first actually before we start. So S is going to be like you're like clear-cut cup contenders. A is like you're definitely making the playoffs. Or A is like you're like upper echelon. Um yeah, B is going to be like like you're probably making playoffs, but you might not. C is like kind of like the opposite of that. It's like you're probably not making playoffs, but like you could. D is like nah, not really making playoffs, but like kind of a solid team. Like these ones are like fighting for a playoff spot. These probably not, but they're like decent. And then F is like a tank for whatever the next number one draft pick is. Not Bedard anymore. I don't know what he is. Yeah. Boston's a really interesting one because they lost a ton of pieces this year. I'd love to do this. Like I hate Boston, but like really it's probably just it's like B for Boston. Um they lost Bergeron, lost Krejci, like that's like terrible. But like Marchand's still quite good. Pasternak's gonna score like 50. Um Centering that line though is like Pavel Zacha. Like I don't really know what we're doing here. Um Defense is still amazing. You've got McAvoy, Lindholm, like Brandon Carlo or whatever, And then another question is like Olmark is not gonna have the kind of season he had last year, but I don't expect him to be bad at all. Like I still think he's like a very good goaltender, just not quite that good. Swayman we don't know about either, but like we know they'll both be like definitely solid goaltenders. I can't actually see Boston like falling out of the playoffs, so I'm sure they'll be like I could see them falling as low as like a wild card, and as much as I kind of want to see them drop out of the playoffs, I don't think it's really happening. Um, yeah, that's a B tier team. Carolina is S. Just I think that's a very easy S. Like the forward core is amazing. The goaltending can be good, although a bit inconsistent. But it's like when it's going, it's really going, and their defense is incredible. Like you've got Slavin, Brett Pesci Burns, of course. Like what's his face? I'm forgetting some of their names now. Um, yeah, you got Brady Shea. Like you even got like you've got Tony D'Angelo on the third pairing. Like I don't know. Like they're just too good. They've got who else? Like the whole top six defense is like players that like should be probably like top four. Like it's kind of unreal. I don't know how they have all those players. Oh right, you've got Dmitry Orlov on this team now too. Like that's what I'm thinking of. Like I don't understand. how that's really a thing. Um, they're gonna be scary. Yeah, I'd watch out for Carolina. The only weakness I really see in this team is that since they're so good defensively, and that's kind of the style that they play, is that sometimes I think they'd actually benefit from like loosening it up sometimes and playing more offense. Where because like I don't think Carolina's really a team that can come back from being down a couple goals. Unfortunately, like usually they take that lead and then they defend it well, which is like yeah, that's their game and it works. But like if their game plan doesn't work for whatever reason, like they seem to have a hard time like getting that goal back or like finding a goal when you need one, which is what a lot of teams can do. But like they're definitely elite. Would not be surprised if they won the cup this year. Chicago, I'd love to say that they're like D just because of Bedard, but it's like no. Like you added like Bedard, he's gonna be real good. Probably he could. I'm predicting he gets around 70 points. Genuinely wouldn't be surprised if he gets 100. I know some people are like, huh? But it's like, listen, Crosby had like 100 in his first year. Um, McDavid didn't, but he got injured. Scoring's up in the league since then too. So like really wouldn't be surprised. He's got Taylor Hall. Uh, but like again, your team was terrible last year. You've added Connor Bedard, Taylor Hall, like Corey Perry, Nick Foligno. I don't even know who this team's starting goaltender is. Like I don't see it being really any higher than F. They could be up here, but it's not really the case. Colorado is very interesting. I think I would like to say that they are an A, although it's very tempting to put them in S. I'll definitely like take a look at this list when it's finished too and like redo some stuff. A for Avs, just like B for Boston, yeah. Um, so C for Coyotes. Some of you are saying no. D for Ducks, no. Um, that's actually really weird. C for Carolina. All these teams are something that's on the list in some way or another. Like C for Chicago too. I'm just kind of rambling now. The problem with Colorado, they're still feeling kind of the effects of the cup tax. Um, Landeskog's out the entire season. He might be back in the playoffs. They don't even know if he's going to be back. We kind of have to move forward expecting Landeskog's kind of just like gone. He's just not real until it's maybe he is. Still though, like yes, you've got Makar, you've got Rantanen, you've got McKinnon. Like Bowen Byram should take a step forward. Georgiev's pretty solid in net. Devon Taves, like this is not a bad team by any stretch. Um, so yeah, you still worry about the 2C spot a little bit, but they filled that with who? Ryan Johansson. That should be kind of decent. Um, yeah, but there are some questions with this team, like especially Landeskog is a big one. They played the whole last year without him, and they were fine, but they weren't great. They lost to Seattle in the first round. They don't need him, but they definitely prefer him. Another question is like Valery Nichushkin. I don't know what the hell that situation was exactly, what happened with him, but like is he gonna play this year or is he like I don't really know actually, to be honest. Like I'm not super up to date with that, but like it's not really ideal whatever happened there. Um Columbus. Columbus for now I would like to put it like I could say as high as C. Like Adam Fantilli's probably NHL ready. Goudreau's gonna have a good year. I'm sure Laine's gonna have a good year. Werenski should be healthy. Elvis Merlikins is a goalie I've always been very high on. So I'd like to say that they're good. They still got more development from other young players like what's his face, Kent Johnson. Boone Jenner's still like actually a solid player, very underrated. So I'll say C for now. Again, my trend C for Columbus. So D for Dallas, right? No. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna say C. Like I think they should be like they were horrid last year, but they should be up to C this year. Seeing as like that's just a down year for a lot of people. A lot of people are injured. They've got new prospects that should be taking a step forward. Things should be getting better in Columbus here. I'm not gonna say playoffs, but they shouldn't be too bad. Now Dallas, continuing my trend, D for no, it's S. The stars are going to be pretty incredible. Jason Robertson is amazing. Joe Pavelski seems to just never age. Rupe Hintz has taken a step forward last year and probably takes another one. Or not even taking a step forward. He's always been like pretty good. But yeah, even Ben and Sagan were kind of like good last year. You've got Ottinger in net, you've got Hiskinen on the blue line, you've got like there's just every piece that you need here to be a great team. Matt Duchene for some reason is like on this team now. Like they're gonna be pretty scary. Something that I always like to say is like a kind of a hallmark of a super good team is having like a superstar at each of the three positions. And by that I mean like you're saying like what do you mean? There's more than three positions. But I mean like they've got like one great forward in Robertson. They've got Hiskin on the blue line, and they've got Ottinger in net. Like each of those kind of lines is filled. One like amazing forward, one amazing defenseman, and one great goaltender. So like, oh, not just great, like elite in all three of those positions. So it's a good team. I think they could be definitely competing for the Stanley Cup this year. 100%. Detroit is very interesting. I'm gonna put them at C. I think they'll be fighting for a playoff spot. I really, to be honest, don't think that they make it because that Atlantic Division is like just something else. If you're being honest, I think if anyone's taking a step forward, it's going to be Ottawa or Buffalo between that, the group of three that have been like kind of pushing these past couple of years and are like in the process of getting better. I think Detroit, unfortunately, is the worst of the three of them. I like Detroit. Um, a lot of puzzling moves were made though, like signing Ben Sherratt to like whatever deal that was the other day, like Justin Hall this year. Um, there haven't been particularly any trades or signings that like super move the needle in my opinion. They got DeBrincat, like that's pretty good, but I don't think considering last year, I think Sider's amazing. I think he'll do good. Larkin, Raymond should have another great year. They've got Simon Edvinson or what's his face like coming in. Vili Huso should have a better year than he had last year. They'll take a step forward. I don't know how much forward. Florida, it has to be in the A tier here because of that cup run that or finals run that they made. Can you really put them S? No, but I don't think they're as low as B either. They should be good. You've got Matthew Kachuk, you've got Barkov, Ekblad. Here's the problem with them. Um, yeah, Ekblad and Montu are going to be injured for a large chunk of the season, and they even barely did make the playoffs last season. So that really, they take a hit there. But like as an overall team, I think that they are an A tier team. Like Bobrovsky showed he's still got it last year. Spencer Knight is actually pretty good too. When he'll come back. So, like it's not an amazing team, but it's definitely not like a bad team by any stretch. Okay, I'm gonna try to be speeding this up now too, but like you got to talk about it. Okay, Edmonton. Oh yeah, I may look biased, but listen, I am an Oilers fan. I've grown up in Edmonton my whole life, but like usually that means I'm actually harder on my team, and this is one of the years that I can say like this is a good team. Like this could win the Stanley Cup. They could also not. They could also very much just fail. They could like lose first round, but like that's kind of just how it works with teams. Like you never really know exactly what you're gonna get, but like it's in the same tier as Carolina and Dallas, where it's like you absolutely can foresee them like going the distance and winning that cup. Like for God's sake, like I don't, they got this guy. I don't know if it's in the camera, but Connor McDavid is incredible. Leon Draisaitl is incredible. Nuge was great last year. Hyman, Kane, like the top six is amazing. They've added Connor Brown. The only thing that I can say is that like they haven't really particularly added like made like some super big ad, but like a full season of Ekholm. Nurse is pretty underrated, although he's still not worth that contract. Bouchard is going to take a huge step. The goaltending, Skinner was great last year. Not really much in the playoffs, but Campbell also can't be quite as bad as he is. Like I think there isn't like a significant weakness anymore. The bottom six is good, on this Oilers team, which we've had in the past. Like bottom six not scoring, defense being kind of bad. The defense is always going to be a bit of a struggle with this team, but it's definitely much improved, especially with Ekholm. So we'll see where they go this year, but I think that they're definitely in that S tier. Okay, now we're on to the Islanders, who I think really are C. I could definitely see them missing the playoffs this year. The one thing that they have is Sorokin. The guy is incredible. They've got good pieces, obviously, like Matthew Barzal, like Pelican Pullock on the blue line. Brock Nelson's actually a pretty underrated player. They've got Bo Horvat now, even though he wasn't particularly great last year. Like, there's pieces on this team, but like they are getting older, stuff like that. Very confusing moves made, like 7-year deals for like Scott Mayfield. Lou Lamoriello actually really needs to retire. Like, I actually have like no words for this. I don't even know what to say. The Kings are a team that I think are getting underrated by a lot, but maybe it's justified. I'd love to do this, but I'll have to take a look at it later. I think they're really more of a B tier team. The thing is, Kopitar and Doughty are still great, but like, how long can they keep going until the age actually starts to affect them? Like, you have to wonder, are players like Byfield going to take a step forward? The Dubois trade, I really don't think Dubois is that great of a player, and they gave up some significant pieces there. But like, you've still got players like Kempe, obviously Kopitar and Doughty. The goaltending is a huge, huge question. That's why I think I have to have them at B. Like, a 36-year-old Cam Talbot and Phoenix Copley is not really moving me here. I'm sorry. So we're gonna have to put them at B for now, but I can see them being A. Minnesota has got to be another team that's B. I think they'll solidly make the playoffs, but like, are they going to win a round? I'm not sure. Are they like great? I'm also not sure. You've got Kaprizov, who's incredible. Matthew Boldy's starting to make an emergence. Like Jared Spurgeon's pretty good on the blue line. Brodeen, Gustafson looked great in net last year, and you still got Fleury, which are like, I don't know if Fleury's going to be like super good this year. I don't know how to judge Fleury because we said he was getting too old before, and then he just like won a Vezina. But like last year, it really seemed like he was starting to fall off a bit. So we will see how that goes. We're moving on to the Canadians, who I think I unfortunately have to put an F, even though I want to put them in D. And I think I have to put them in F just because based on where I think they'll finish in the standings, because that Atlantic division is tough, like very, very tough. Do I think they're as bad as teams like Chicago and the Ducks? Not really. Like Suzuki and Caulfield should be good, but again, like that can't just carry your whole team. Their defense is like meh. Like Mike Matheson, I think is their best defenseman. That's like not really a recipe for success. Sam Montembeau's not amazing in net either. I just don't see this team going that far, but they should be fun to watch for sure. Nashville is a team that I'd like to put in B-ish, C-ish. They kind of have to be C, but like I'm a Nashville fan. I'd like to put them in B. They're getting older, but some of these young guys that come up like what's that guy like Tommy Novak had like 40 points in 50 games or something like that last year. I'm like I don't even know who the hell this guy is, and all of a sudden he's like he showed up and like they've traded pieces like Ekholm and stuff to and they got Barry back, which is like like he's fine. Uh, but like you still have Forsberg, you still have Yossi Saros in net. Like there's just I'm sorry, like this team is still actually very good, and like some of those young guys that had to step up and replace some of the good players they traded, like Duchesne and like Johansson, like honestly filled that role quite well. So to me, I'm thinking that like they could be pretty good here because if these new guys just step up and create almost as much, offense as the previous players did, and then the defense is still getting better, or its defense is still fine, like I don't see Nashville being a truly terrible team like a lot of people are predicting. We're moving on to New Jersey, which is another probably our final S tier team, but I'll have to take a look at some of the other ones. They're good. They're good, man. Like very good. Um, I don't even understand how that their forward group is allowed to exist. Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, Timo Meyer, like, and then they've added Toffoli now. You still have Eric Holla, who's actually was quite good last year. There's someone I'm missing too that I'm not thinking of. Like, I don't know who I'm trying to think of. Oh, Dawson Mercer's pretty great. Like, yeah, it's kind of scary. They still have Alexander Holtz like in the prospect pool too. The defense itself also is great. Like you've got Siegenthaler, Hamilton, and then you've got Luke Hughes and like Simon Nemeth or whatever his name is like coming in too. They're gonna be scary for years to come. Like I don't know if it'll be this year, but if this Devils team does not win like a Stanley Cup at all, I will like eat a shoe. Like this is no, I'm sorry. Like they're already incredible and they've got like a ton of great prospects that are probably coming in and some of their young players like Hughes didn't even hit 100 points last year. I'm sure he could have upwards of like 120 this year. The dude's like incredible. This team is scary, like very very scary. Yeah, be warned. New Jersey Devils are good. Also, right, didn't even talk about Vanacek was like fine. And then they've got this Akira Schmid guy, which is like that name is like hilarious. Uh, but yeah, no, he was like great at the end of the last season. He pretty much carried them through that Rangers series. Um, yeah, watch out. Devils are scary. Rangers, I'm gonna put A. Some people are like really low on the Rangers for some reason. Like I'm seeing a lot of offseason predictions where people are like, dude, Panarin's like actually awful just because he had like not a very good playoff series. But they're like, yeah, dude, like I don't think Panarin's gonna crack like 70 points. Like he's probably still gonna have like about 90, maybe 100. Like I don't really know where that's coming from. And they still have players like Kako and Lafreniere that like haven't taken that step yet. You've got like Zibanejad, who personally I'm not a big fan of, and I think he's super overrated, but he's still definitely very good. You have Adam Fox, Ryan Lindgren on the blue line, and then don't forget Igor in net, who I think personally is still the best goaltender in the league. But it's like debatable. But like you can't say that this is a bad team. Again, that rule that I was talking about, where you have like at each position. Like Igor's incredible. You've got Adam Fox, defense, that's elite, and then you've got like Panarin and Zibanejad on your forwards who are also elite. Like, yeah, they're not really going anywhere. Senators, I'm going to say this. You know what? I'm going to say Senators are a B tier team. I think they make the playoffs this year. I think they're actually really good. Sanderson just got that 8-year contract for like 8 mil. It's like that's kind of might be an overpay, but I think he's like super incredible. You've got Shabbat and you've got Chikrin on that blue line too. Artem Zub's like pretty solid. I don't really know what's going on with their bottom pairing, but that top four is actually quite good. Um, and then we're not talking even about the forwards. Like Stutzla is going to be incredible. I see 100 points for him for sure. Brady Kachuk's probably hitting about 90 and bringing that physical element. Um, then you've got Josh Norris is making a return. Tarasenko they signed. You've got Giroux who's still quite good. The Batherson was like probably had a bit of a down year last year and he's actually quite good too. Like the forward group is just kind of nuts here, and the defense is starting to come around too. You've got Corpusalo who for throughout his whole career I've not been a fan of, but for some reason he was actually like really good last year. So the Senators got to hope he's continues that this year, and if he does, they're kind of set because they don't have many other problems than goaltending and defense. If they can figure that out, their offense will be quite fine. Their special teams were good last year too. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So yeah, Senators I think are making the playoffs this year. I'd be surprised if they didn't. They might be a wild card, but like I really think that it is time to take that next step. Like the Devils did, not like the Devils did, where they improved from like a 60-point team to like third in the league or whatever. But it's time for the Sens to take that step. Philadelphia is just quite frankly awful. I, I'm literally trying to think of like a notable player on this. Travis Konechny, which he's good, right? But like again with like the Clayton Keller thing, it's like is like Travis Konechny's your best player? It's like yeah, okay, dude. I don't really know where we're going anywhere with this. Who did they pick up? They traded Provorov, right? And even he wasn't that good in the first place. Um, yeah, Carter Hart is might be part of like a scandal. I don't really like the character on this team either. Speaking of like Provorov being like kind of homophobic and all that. Anyway, um, yeah, the Flyers not good, not interesting, not likable. F tier. I'm sorry. There's not much else to say. Um, Penguins. I have to say B. You can never bet against Sidney Crosby. Um, Malkin's still really good. Letang's still really good. And then they picked up Carlson, of course. Jari probably had a bit of a down year. I think he's still one of the general better goaltenders in the league. Not like a top tier one, but like quite good. Um, yeah, they did miss the playoffs last year, but they missed by like what 1 point, and they don't seem to have gotten any worse. They've still got Gensel. They've still got of course Crosby and Malkin. Like I can't really just say that they're like gonna miss the playoffs. It might be tough for them to make it, and I don't know if they'll particularly go anywhere if they do, but they'll be at least fun to watch. I'm so excited to see power plays with like Eric Carlson and Sidney Crosby. Like that is incredible. Um, San Jose. I've been a fan of San Jose for a while, and I can confidently say they are just ass. Uh, like Carlson was definitely the most exciting part of this team, and he's gone now. It's Meyer's gone too. Like again, the same issue as like Philadelphia. Like let me try to think who's the best player on this team. Logan Couture, Tomas Hurdle, which as a Sharks fan, I love those two, but it's like that cannot be a recipe for success. I don't know what to say. Like everybody knows, like they've actually committed to the rebuild this time. Everybody knows that they're like just going to be terrible. So I don't think there's much more to talk about. They're not very good. Um, Seattle. I'd love to put Seattle B because I think they're really cool, but I do think they overperformed last year and they're probably more of a C tier team. But I could be very wrong. But I don't think their goaltending's very good. Like Philip Grubauer has just really fallen off the map ever since leaving Colorado. Who else do they have? Drieger, who also I was kind of a fan of when he was in Florida, but he hasn't shown anything since then. Last year, their starting goaltender was Martin Jones, and somehow that was working for them. But like even he wasn't actually performing that well. The offense was just kind of carrying him. They still have a great defense with like Larson and Dunn. Matty Benier should take another step. You've got players like Jordan Eberle, Jared McCann on the forward group. Like they're fine. They're a good team, but I honestly feel like they might honestly not make the playoffs here. Shane Wright could step in, and they've got prospects like stuff like that. Like I see it as between B and C, but I've got to go with C here. St. Louis is like the definition of a C tier team for me. Like they've definitely gotten worse. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're great either, though. You've lost Tarasenko and Ryan O'Reilly. Like you've now committed to your offense being led by like Jordan Kyrou and Robert Thomas, who are definitely good players, but good enough to make the playoffs. I'm not sure. They very much could. They also couldn't. Binnington, we never know with. I don't know. Definitely a C tier team, like super just mid. Now, Tampa is a team that I'd love to say they're falling off and throw them into B, but like if we're being honest, you probably still have to put them A. They're not like it's what the same thing as Pittsburgh. Like you can't just bet against them. Now, Vasilevsky being out for 2 months is really going to hurt them, and I could see them missing the playoffs. But like, I don't know if I can just commit to saying that they're like not a good team. Again, we'll look at this at the end of this and like check it out. But no, you still have Point, Stamkos, Kucherov. You've got Hedman, who wasn't great last year, but like people are really overblowing how bad he was. You've got Sergachev on the blue line. When Vasilevsky comes back, he's still top three goaltender in the league. You can't really say Tampa's not A. They're not S anymore, but you can't really put them as low as B. Toronto's another team that's got to be A. Um, it depends how you see their offseason moves. Some people say they got worse. Some people say they got better. I kind of feel like they just stayed the same. That core four is still there. You still got like Morgan Riley. The goaltending's still the same. They managed to win around last year, so good for them, finally. But are they gonna win the cup? I don't really see it. Tyler Bertuzzi's a good ad. So is Max Domi. John Klingberg on the blue line is a bit puzzling. So in some areas they've gotten better, in some they've gotten worse. They're an A-tier team. They'll have a great regular season, and then we'll see what happens in the playoffs. Vancouver is a team that I'm kind of high on, and I'd like to say that they're B, but I really think they're more of a C. But let's just think about this for a second here. Again, this is another one of those teams where it's on the same level as Dallas for how I see it, but they have an elite player at each position, I think. Pedersen is great. Quinn Hughes is amazing. Pedersen's like a straight up superstar. He'll have 100 points again. Quinn Hughes should take probably even another step forward after being already super good last year. And then Thatcher Demko is still one of the better goaltenders in the league, although maybe not that complete upper echelon. I would still say that they kind of have like an elite player at each position. They unfortunately are probably just C because that Pacific Division is actually quite tough this year. Um, we'll see what they do. I could see them being B for sure. I could definitely see them making playoffs. So I'll put them at C where they're in kind of that fight to make the playoffs. Not sure if they'll do it. Vegas, as much as I hate to do this, I'm gonna have to put them in S. They are the defending champions. They didn't really lose anything. I absolutely hate this team so much, but I've got to put them in S. They're like they just didn't really get any worse. They were kind of injured in the regular season last year, and they still did really good. Jack Eichel probably plays even better this year than he did. I've always been a fan of his. Um, are we going to see another like Aiden Hill miracle run? Probably not, but their goaltending's still solid with Logan Thompson, then of course Hill now. They're good. They're unfortunately very good. Washington, I'm gonna have to say they're in D tier. I don't know why, but like, it's not really the same story as Pittsburgh. Like Ovi's even older, Backstrom's even like, older than Crosby and Malkin. Like they've fallen off. Would I be surprised if Ovi scores 50 goals again? Not really. They picked up Sandin on the blue line. I think that's pretty good for them. But and they have Kemper in net, who I think is great. But really, like at this point in time, are kind of more of a D tier team. You know what? Okay, looking at this, I'm gonna have to move the Habs up to D. Like, unfortunately, yeah, I think that's fair. I just don't really have that many teams in D tier. Winnipeg again is like it's gotta be C. Like, there's just a lot of teams that are like, yeah, probably C tier, which means maybe I have to move some of them up. How many? Okay, I need to have probably exactly 16 teams here because I'm saying these teams all make the playoffs. So that's probably how I'll do it. I won't worry about East and West, although I think I should have enough of each, but I'm not gonna make the video last too long because it probably already is, so I'm not gonna like go through all that. Winnipeg, super questionable. Like Shifley's not as good anymore. Wheeler's gone, even though he wasn't doing much last year anyway. Ehlers was injured for a lot of last year, and I think he's great. Kyle Connor should have another good season, even though he had a little bit of down year. Like he should step back into it. Josh Morrissey emerged last year. Connor Hellebuck's back to his usual self. They can't be considered a bad team, but are they more of like a mid team? Yeah, Gabriel Velarde should be an interesting addition, as well as whatever else they got in that Dubois trade. I don't particularly remember. Um, I think they should be solid. They could definitely make the playoffs. They could just as easily not. Winnipeg is C. Also, looking at this too, I kind of have to say that like Columbus is also just D tier. They're good, but like I can't really be saying like, oh yeah, they're on this level with these guys. Yeah, that's not really the truth. Calgary. We're back to my old trend. C for Calgary. Calgary is a team that definitely could be B though. They had a down year last year, that's for sure. That wasn't really working with the coaching. I'm sorry, but there's just absolutely no way Huberto's having like a 55 point season again. He's probably closer to 80 at least, maybe 90. Lindholm should be better. Their defense is still amazing with like Hannafin, Uyghur. Um, what's his name? Anderson. Oliver Shillington's not injured this time. Like they should definitely have a good season. Markstrom can't be as bad as he was last year either. Like just a lot of people in Calgary, a lot went wrong for them last year, and they still very nearly made the playoffs. I don't see it. I honestly want to say B. I feel like Calgary just kind of for sure makes the playoffs here. Um, I'd like to put Buffalo in B too. However, that would mean I have 17 teams here. And Buffalo is probably more of a C tier team for me just because I'm not sure they're making the playoffs. Tage Thompson was great, but is he going to repeat that kind of season? Darlene's amazing. You've got Owen Power coming in. This Devin Levi guy, he looks pretty good. Like, they're quite like a lot of potential there. A lot of stuff needs to go right. They cannot do the thing that they've done for the past, like, I don't even know how many seasons it is where they start off like October like hot and going like a 9 game like winning streak and then are just absolutely awful for the next 2 months and like lose all of their games. Like you've got to be consistent here. Um, this team is definitely one that's very exciting and I think is good. You've got Alex Tuck and stuff like that too. Like and they've still got more prospects like Matthew Savoie and I don't know who I'm missing. Still coming in, as well as the continued development of like Thompson, Darlene, and Power. They're definitely going to be an exciting team. Are they quite going to make the playoffs? I'm not sure. I'd love to see them make the playoffs. I think Buffalo's fun because like as an Oilers fan too, I respect Buffalo. Like we were both in the trenches for a while there. We made it out. I want to see them make it out too. I like Buffalo, but yeah, that's kind of the tier list here. I'm just gonna go through it a little bit and then we'll probably end the video. But like we'll just take another look. I think S tier is fine. These are all teams that like very well could win the cup. Do I really think Vegas is going to repeat? No. And do I want them to? Hell no. But you can't really say that the defending cup champions who didn't really get that much worth other than trading like Riley Smith is like can't really say that they've fallen off into A tier when they've just won the cup. Yeah, that's it. These all look fine. These also all look fine. I could even say that LA could move up to A, but that goaltending is just too questionable for me. These are also good. The Islanders and the Predators are honestly just like the same team. Not that good of an offense, pretty strong defense, and an elite goaltender. So it's just like, yeah, this is just the same team. Uh, a lot of similarities with Winnipeg and Vancouver too, where like they're both two Canadian teams with like pretty good goaltending, one really good defenseman, pretty strong forward cores, but like, we'll see what happens. I feel like Vancouver could be better than Winnipeg this year. I'm not super high on the Jets, but this all looks pretty good. The only other thing I might do is say Seattle's up in B, but like personally, I just feel like they might not repeat the kind of success that they had last year. This all looks fine too. These are all teams that are not bottom of the barrel teams, but are definitely like not good. Should finish somewhere in the like 25 to like 28 range. And these are all teams that I think are just going to be bottom of the league competing for that first overall pick. Although Chicago is going to be fun to watch at least, which these other teams can't say. Well, Zegras. But yeah, I think that's the tier list. Let me know what you guys think. I'm definitely super excited for the NHL season. Let me know your hot takes down in the comments too. I want to hear some like super scorching hot takes. But yeah, I'll probably be doing some more hockey videos in the future. So if you like this one, subscribe and I'll see you guys later.